Hi, welcome back to BBQTalk.ca series of barbecue how-to videos. Tonight it's pulled pork night. We're going to do a couple of pork butts. They're from the shoulder, which we've had a lot of conversation on the forum lately about where a butt roast from a leg comes from versus where an actual Boston cut pork butt comes from. What I've got here are a couple of pork butts. They're Boston cut. They're from the shoulder area. These are each about 10 pounds. They've already been trimmed. These are right, again, out of the butcher. I've gotten these all over the place. We've got them from Costco, Sam's Club. Sobeys actually has a decent product. I haven't quite been as pleased as I have in catering or in competitions as I am by getting them directly from the butcher himself. They're trimmed actually, I believe, when he gets them. He doesn't do anything for them except basically hand them over to me, but it's the quality of cut that he's getting. They're each roughly around 10 pounds, and there is a tremendous amount of fat. I've cooked both shoulder butts as well as picnic from the shoulder. 6 of one, half dozen the other, folks. It doesn't make that much of a difference. I mean, some people like the picnic better, some like the shoulder better, some say you get a little more yield, a little less yield. I've cooked 200-300 pounds at a time side by side, and I've never really saw that much of a difference between the two. You buy what looks good at the time, what's the best price at the time. Either way, you're going to come up with a great product in the end. Pork butt is probably your easiest cut if you're just getting into barbecuing and smoking to cook. It's certainly the most forgiving. Depending on the cooker you've got, it's basically a set it and forget it kind of smoke. Preparation is simple. Some people are of the theory that a mustard coating needs to be done. Some say don't rub anything at all before you put your spices on. We're going to do one of each tonight. We're going to cook these on the WSM, Weber Smoky Mountain. I've actually cooked 6 at a time on a Weber Smoky Mountain before. And what we'll do is we'll put them on the grill. We'll prop them apart with some wood and bamboo skewers. We can get 2 across this way, 1 across this way. Tonight we're only going to do 2. I'm going to do them both on the top grill. We're going to throw some hickory wood in there and a little touch of maple. That's what our preference is. And we're going to smoke them up. 8 to 10 pounds. Probably I'm going to take a wild stab at an hour and a half per pound to cook these things. We're going to be up most of the night. Actually, WSM is going to be up most of the night. I'm going to bed. We've got our remote sensors here. We're going to fire those up as well, and it'll tell us the inside temperature of the meat as well as the temp of the smoker. A lot of train of thought on that one too, folks. Some people think that it needs to be cooked at a constant 220 all night long, some 215, some 240, some 280. I've seen all kinds of train of thought. I'm going to set up these remote sensors so that they monitor anywhere between 210 degrees and 275 degrees. If my smoker goes above 275, the alarms are going to go off. If my smoker goes below 210, the alarm's going to go off to warn me. I've cooked them 100 times in the WSM under those same circumstances with that kind of a temperature roll. The pork butts still come out absolutely delicious. You don't need to stand there and guard your temperature with the WSM as much as some other smokers. The difference between the 210 and 275, I got to tell you, you're not going to see a difference. So right now we're going to take one of these butts, one up with mustard, and we're going to rub the other one up just with spices. No liquid on it whatsoever, and you'll just have to taste my judgment at the end of the cook for as to if there's a big difference between a mustard rub or not. Okay, so we've got the one rubbed up with our mustard base, nothing on the other one, a little bit on the side, no big deal. You don't want to rub them down with spices, and we've got just a very basic rub concoction here. I've got some garlic powder, some white pepper, some Spanish paprika, some seasoning salt, some onion powder, some cayenne pepper, and I've got some turbinado sugar. Now, you can use turbinado sugar in place of your brown sugar. It's got a much higher temperature resistance, and it won't burn and caramelize as much as a normal brown sugar base will. No such thing on these things as too much spice. And again, I told you the table was going to get a little bit messy. Okay, no pretty way to do this. No hard and fast rules. You want it covered. If it's not 100% covered, you run out of rub, no big deal. I even put a little bit on the fat. I've seen some people cake it on, leave it just like that. Doesn't matter. I'm going to put a little bit on the back here. What you got to know is the fat's mostly going to render out, so rubbing it on the fat isn't necessarily going to do much for the end result. Some people will inject these. Again, matter of preference. When we're in a competition, I'm not going to tell you if I do or not. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we inject them. Sure we do. You want recipes for rub injections? They'll be out there somewhere, but I don't have one off the top of my head. Throw a barbecue sauce, mix in maybe a little honey, some apple juice is good, pepper, whatever you want, and inject it with that. Okay, 2 butts. Both rubbed down, both approximately the same size, one with mustard, one without. We're going to probably lose, I'm going to guess, around 50% of these overnight. About 6:45 now, so they'll probably be done between 8 and 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. They may stall out. They may take till noon or 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. They may be done at 6 in the morning. We won't know because they're done when they're done. Out to the WSM. Okay guys, as I told you, it's a wintry night in Ontario. I've got them on just like I said I would. I've got them propped up with some wooden skewers. I couldn't find my clip for the smoker thermometer on the grate, so I've used a part of a sweet potato. It's just stuck through the sweet potato, but that'll fine. It'll sit there all night long. We're chugging along about 260 right now. I've got 2 vents completely closed. My third vent is open about 15%. She's held on for 250 for about half an hour now. Meat's going on. Gonna leave the Maverick thermometers outside. They're all wrapped up in a couple of oven mitts and a plastic bag. We're good to go for the night. I'm gonna put the lid back on with the vent away from the opening where we fill up, okay? And I've got some hickory in there right now. It's snowing. It's a beautiful night. We'll see you in the morning. Here it is, 20 after 2. Check out the temperatures, man. 156 degrees internal on my meat. 256 on the cooker, folks. I haven't touched this thing since about 8:30 when I restocked it. And that wasn't a necessary restock. I just thought, you know what, it's getting cold and dark. I'm going to make sure this thing is totally topped up before I start to settle in for the evening. Anyway, this thing's doing exactly what it should. And I'm going back to bed. See you in the morning. Morning, everyone. It's about 10 o'clock this morning. You can see that the snow is falling. I didn't have to do anything during the night. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning to get the kids ready for their day, and the little Maverick remote read 252 degrees and the meat was at 183. I stocked it up because I had to leave and get the kids to school, and I'm off today. Obviously to finish up this. Right now it's 193 degrees according to Little Maverick Ready Check thermometers here. The meat's 193 and the smoker is 268. So amazing little cooker. Did a beautiful job all night long. Put that back in my pocket. I haven't looked at these all night. They may not even be there. Who knows? Maybe somebody came in the night and took them. But you're going to get a first look just like me. If you're looking, you're not cooking. That's one of the infamous sayings that we've all heard. We're going to take a quick look at these. We're going to get them off and get them in and rest them up. So what have we got under the hood? Let's hope there's still some food there. Beautiful. Beautiful work of art. And they smell just as good as they look. That ain't burnt, that's bark, folks. At its best. We're going to get these off, and we'll see you inside. Okay, as you can see, we've got our butts inside. Anybody who isn't familiar in the smoked pork butt, probably looking at this thinking, oh my God, what did What did he do to these things? Look at these burnt chunks of charcoal. Anyone who has a little bit of experience with these or has ever tasted one before, you know you're looking at liquid gold, black gold sitting here right now. These things are absolutely beautiful looking. I did take a little taste test off one. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to cover them up with some foil, give these things probably 20-25 minutes time to rest. What that does is all the juices right now, if I was to open this up, the juice just burst all over the place, and we don't want to lose that. These things are hot, they're almost 200 degrees internally. We want to cool them down a little bit, let them rest, let the juices suck back into the center of the meat so it stays within the meat. So we'll cover them up loosely in foil tent. Again, just a loose covered tent. We don't want these things to continue to cook. I want them to rest. I want to pull them apart. I'm not saving them for anything. It doesn't need to be tight. Okay, that's it. We're going to let them set for roughly half an hour. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we're back. We've had a good 30-minute rest. Remove our foil, and we're going to pull our butts. Sounds a little awkward, but that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to pick one up, and I'm going to move it over to here. We'll have one on each. A lot of people like to get in with their hands. So do I. Unfortunately, I am the sole producer, director, filmmaker, actor of the show today. I've got to run a little remote control thing in my hands here, so I have to change my gloves every time if I did that. So I'm going to use some forks to do this. Hopefully we've got this just about right. I'm going to test out my zoom abilities here, see if we can come in a little bit. Very cool. Okay, so all you're going to do, dig in. Start pulling apart. You can see the steam coming out. There's a beautiful amount of moisture. And we're going to zoom in on these in just a second here. You can see there, look at it. Beautiful. This is some of the finest eaten meat that the good Lord could have given us. That bone just pulls right out of there. It comes out nice and clean. You know your briskets. That your pork butt is done when you can give that bone a little shake and she comes out of there nice and clean. Pull it apart, break it up with your hands, leave it in chunks, shred it, do whatever you want to do. This stuff is some amazing tasting meat. There's all kinds of sauces you can put on it. Purists don't like to use sauce, that's fine. You know what, you like sauce, great. You don't like sauce, that's great too. This stuff, you don't need it. But don't let anybody tell you that you can't have it, that it's not right. Because you know what, you're the one that's got to eat it. Now, we'll pull apart the other one. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Again, I have no clue which one is which. Which one tastes a little bit like, you know, I'm going to grab a little bit of the crust with a little bit of meat on it. Take one off this tray here. Might have been the one with mustard, might have not. I don't know if it's got mustard on or not. Oh, it's beautiful. Take one off the other tray. Oh man, I would be proud to serve this to anybody. Oh, fabulous. Absolutely. Melt in your mouth. Incredible. Delicious. 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 Folks, I gotta tell you, that is some fine tasting pork. It's moist. I can taste the seasonings real well. I have a beautiful little tiny bit of heat, which really adds to it. Wonderful smoke flavor. We did a combination of hickory. I even, just before bedtime, I threw in a little bit of maple there. So mix it up. A little bit of cherry, put whatever you want in it. You know what, smoking is beautiful. This food is absolutely incredible. I can't tell the difference between the two, and you know what, I cook 200-300 pounds of this a week for catering events. We compete, and we really, sometimes when we compete, we throw a lot of different flavors at the judges, because they basically have to take it in 1 or 2 bites and judge my food on that. I can't see the difference. You want to mustard it, you notice a difference, you go right ahead. You don't want to mustard it, you don't have to. It's all a matter of your choice. It's good stuff. Either way you want it. grab a hunk of it, slap it on a bun, eat it that way, pour some sauce on it, chug her down with a beer and some coleslaw and beans, and man, you are good to go. Join us at BBQTalk.ca. That's BBQTalk.ca. Come on over to the forums. The recipe will be posted there, what we did. The video will be up there. And join in. Grab a membership. It's free. We don't spam your email account. Come on in and share in some good fun and some good recipes. Until next time, thank you. Take care. and that was a little Mariah. There's our blooper. There's my baby. Have a good week, everybody. Bye-bye.